Hello everyone, this is RexRed. I am back with another EZ3DTV tutorial. We are going to be talking today about a product called Reshade, and I have an awesome, I guess, bonus for you. It's like I can't really claim that I did this, but it just happens that this is the case, and I think I'll wait a little while before I introduce this little surprise for you all. But what we have here is a sale at the Daz store that just happens to be happening today. And my hair is still wet. I just got out of the shower, and I just noticing it's kind of all fluffed all over in the wrong way. It always is. So, okay, what are we doing today? Thank you for the likes. You don't like surprises? I think I know that about you, Angus. But after the surprises, you come around and say, yeah, I think I like that one. But it was like, yeah, say hello to Marlo. Marlo is going to say hello to everyone. Hello. Yes, that was Marlo. Marlo was saying hello. All right. Marlo the Magnificent. Yes, well, I will talk to you about that. Very good news, hopefully, Angus. Very, very, very good news, hopefully. Is it good news? I hope so. Okay. Now, about this, what are we doing today? Well, remember I told you yesterday about how you have to have geometry in the background of your scene to render a what do you call it? To render a depth map. And I have so many terms that I use during these live performances that sometimes I just like, what was that called again? All right, so, and the problem with the depth map, and I will show it to you here, is that Wizard House Canvas, we'll open this, open with Adobe Photoshop, and use as a transparency, and then we go to image adjustments, and we go to levels, and okay, no, we're going to go to exposure, and so we're going to go to minus 13. Okay, and this is what happens now. And I showed you this yesterday, but notice how awesome all of the depth map information, see all these sharp lines here, how beautiful the depth map is all the way through, except when you get to the top here, where it meets up with the part of your scene that doesn't have any geometry. And this tree is horrible, okay? This just won't work as a depth map because what it does is it creates this really terrible line along the top and around any surface. And this part of your scene here, this is the HDRI. This is a projection, and this is not geometry. Welcome, people. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So this is not geometry. And so how do we fix this so we can use an HDRI? So that we can just not have to worry about the HDRI is, well, what we have to do is put an invisible piece of geometry in here, okay? And this is where I'm going to show you, okay, we'll take this out So now, so this scene has just our geometry here in our scene, the water and all of this is geometry, the tree is geometry, the tower is geometry. This is all part of the geometry, but the HDRI is not. And here is a product called Reshade. And I've had this product for quite a while now, and it works pretty good, okay? Now, I'm not sure what this infinite sphere is. I think it just uses the infinite sphere to reshade your scene. You don't want to use that. You want to use the prop, okay? Because the infinite sphere is not geometry, okay? So what you want to use is this reshade prop. And so pretty much what this product is I believe it looks like a sphere. I believe it's a giant sphere that goes around your world. Now, if we select this reshade and we go to this and we actually select the reshade, oh, we can't? Okay, we go to perspective mode and select this reshade here. And it is actually here. It's just very difficult to see. This little speck right there, that's our wizard island. Okay, and now if we go into out of Iray, you can't see it as well, but inside of this box is a very, very, very large sphere. Okay, and what the sphere does is it goes around your entire scene, and it allows you to use these presets here to... These are materials, and it allows you to use these materials as to shade your scene. And so now if we go back into our scene and we go back into Iray, as you can see with this reshade object in here, the scene doesn't really look any different. Much different. Anus, I am here. Oh, you can't see my screen. Well, that's helpful that you tell me that. All right. Well, yes. Okay. So let me see. All right. I am sorry about that. It happens. Oh, it's terrible. All this, it's very difficult handling all this live stuff. I thought you just wanted to watch me talk. All right. Very good. Thank you for letting me know. All right. So we have, yeah, because that kind of ruined the whole first part of this video. So, you know, sometimes I feel like just like going out and deleting it and coming back in and starting all over and talking for another 10 minutes or 20 minutes. I don't know how long I talked without that there. So, okay. So Reshade. Reshade is... Let's go back over. I'll try to backtrack, okay, and fix this huge error. Okay, so we'll try to go back. Now let's go to this perspective view, okay, and you can see when we go into here, this is this gigantic sphere. It's an invisible sphere, okay, that goes around your scene. It's kind of like the finite and yesterday when I said we'll test this out, and I went to test the finite environment with the HDRI. And accidentally, I clicked the infinite one, and then I did a test and said, okay, the finite one doesn't work. Well, I redid that test today, and no, the finite one is not geometry, okay? So the finite sphere will not fix this problem, okay? And now we'll go back into Photoshop, and I'll show you what this problem is. Now, you notice how everywhere, you see where all the geometry is, it's all beautiful soft lines. Everything is nice and soft. But wherever there's no geometry, like our HDRI here in the scene, this is the depth map that Daz outputs, okay? Anywhere where it's touching the HDRI, okay, it creates this like distortion along the edge. This is horrible. It's very noticeable in your scene. You can't get by without it. But you say, well, what if I want to use an HDRI? You know, how do I do that? How do I make this work? Okay? And the way you do this is you put a sphere, an invisible sphere in your scene, okay? Now, will this work with just putting a sphere and making it very, very large and turning the opacity down? I don't know. Okay, we're going to test that, but it does work with Reshade. And what's nice about Reshade is that it is currently on sale right now. So in the Daz store, it's $7.34. Normally it's $20. Okay, this is a very nice product here. And I'll show you how cool Reshade is. So let's go back to our camera view and let's go to Iray. And when we click on this Reshade here, we click on Reshade, and I guess this would be the materials. And when I click on this, notice how it shades everything in your scene. You got this deep gold one, and the thing is really, you know, is this that big of a deal? And I would say not really, because you can just go into your HDRI, and let's go back to like a white light. Let's see, you just go to surfaces here, and you go to Reshade, and the Reshade color, and just turn it white again. And you can do the same thing right here in your environment options, and you go to parameters. And hello, environment options. Okay, and then you just go environment tint, and we could take this color here, and guess what? We've shaded our environment. And so that is, you know, so it's not something that it's not that it's just not that useful when you really think about the grand scheme, because if you just want to shade your environment with any color, you just do it right in, and you can lighten it a little bit, like bring it down so it's just a little bit of blue, and or bring it up just so it's about in the middle. So it's just, there's no real use for this. And also, Reshade can put off light, so it can actually add a color in your scene. There again, your environment map does that by just raising this to a larger number, okay? So Reshade is kind of a redundant product, but what's really nice about Reshade is that, let's go back to white here, is that it is geometry, okay? And so putting this, and it's really easy to just kind of click on it, and it's in your scene. You don't have to resize. It knows to be kind of big enough. Now, some scenes that you make, like if you use Terradome, or if you use UltraScenery XT, and we might test that out to see if UltraScenery XT actually fits within Reshade. We'll see about that, okay? Or does it protrude outside of Reshade, and that could be problematic. The thing with Reshade is you just make it a little bigger, okay? But what's nice is that you can, you know, for $7, you can just click on this, and you can add this. Now, if these materials, some of these are really nice. The shades that they've picked here are pretty nice. The Twilight Hour and Toxic Green World. They've just picked the right amount of hue and everything to go with this. And then you go back to your surfaces, and you can turn off the Reshade color. again by just going to white. But what this is that even though we have the color of this big sphere set to white, it's still transparent and it's still here, so that when I go to render this scene, okay, and we click render, and now I have my HDRI in the scene, okay, and this you can't see it, but it's this very thin sphere that is all around your scene, okay? It's geometry, so it's between your HDRI and it's nice. And here, like I said, in Daz right now, it's on sale for $7. You can just double click on it and it's there, and you can, if it comes in colored or whatever, you can just go and click on the surfaces and turn it to white, and then you can't see it. I don't know that it's actually putting off a white light, but no, it's not, because there's no emission turned on. So then it's a way of kind of lighting your scene. And what's nice about this is that that you're still getting the gradient of your world. Like Reshade isn't like just like turning off your HDRI and turning on a distant light where it colors the world with one color. You still have your HDRI shining through the Reshade and giving you all the various colors of the sky back reflected onto your scene. So that's what's really nice about that, is that it is giving you this. It's just reshading a very, very, very variant color that's coming into your scene. So that's really nice about that, is that you can kind of just use it to tweak things. So, but it works really well. Now we can cancel this, yes. And I will go into our Photoshop and let's delete this. Let's turn off everything here. No. And this, no. Okay, let's get rid of that. And we'll go now to this folder. We will go up. We'll delete these canvases. Okay, and then what we'll do is come back here and Wizard House with Reshade. Okay, we're going to save that. Okay, and this is going to create our image and our canvas. So we go into the canvas, right click, open with Adobe Photoshop, and use that. And then we open our other image, which is here. Right click, open with Photoshop. And now you're going to see that when we go to our depth map, image, adjustments, levels, exposure, minus 13, and click OK. And now when we zoom in on our image, look at how nice our lines are. See, they go all the way up into here. There's no distortion at all along the edge at all. There's just none, zero. And that's all because we just used okay, now I'm throwing my image off here. Okay, V. Okay, that's because we have used, all right, now I'm not sure what I'm doing here. We have to close this down and reopen that. Save changes, no. All right, go back in here, right click, open with Photoshop. Okay, and now also I've kind of learned it maybe that I'm still having some issues with wondering, okay, minus 13. What is the best way to process this image? Well, you definitely have to edit it, okay? Because this right in here is supposed to be black, and this part up here is supposed to be white. So you go to your image adjustments levels. This is the way to do it. And you bring this over here so your black is black. And then you bring this down so your white is white. And then you bring your black up so that it starts to come in like this. And you have just a little bit of black in the front, maybe like this. This black area will have no image, and the white area. And then you can kind of mess with this a little bit to change the way this kind of works. So it goes all the way to white and it goes all the way to black. Click OK. And now I'm wondering if, since Control Copy, if the best way to do this is to paste this. Okay, target has a different depth than the source map, the result in lower than expected. Okay, we go quality. Okay, go like that and throw this down below here. And now we take this image and copy it. Duplicate image. Image. Duplicate image. Yes. And why don't we have that? Where is our duplication? All right. Well, that didn't work. Let's select all here. And layer. Okay, layer. Okay, I think I just okay, I know what I did. I duplicated the image rather than save changes and new. Okay, we're going to go here and duplicate layer, layer, duplicate layer. How about we do that? And then this one, Control I to invert. That didn't work. Or maybe it's Control Shift I. Now we're having all kinds of fun problems here. Let's try this one, invert. It's not letting me do that. Here we go. Will this layer copy? All right, let's go to all. I think it's because I brought it in on this layer here. So if we do this a different way, we take this layer right here, select copy, and we put this on top of here. It works better. V, and then we can take this and Control I. Yeah, see that inverted? And now we add our mask and add our mask here. And then we go to screen on both of these, screen. And this is where the fun starts. Now we select into our layer here, and we go to our brush tool. And this one is going to let us bring some of the sky in, okay? So we want a little bit of the sky in behind. Okay, that's our top, the white part. Okay, and we want a lot of the sky maybe here. And then this one allows us to bring in our ground in the tower area. Because remember that back part was all white. We inverted the images. So this is really cool how we can do this and bring these and use this depth map, okay, information, okay, to make this image, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to Daz and see, well, what if we don't use Reshade, okay? What if we just make a gigantic sphere and stretch it up and make the sphere invisible, okay? So let's go now to geometry, sphere, and we want to, let's see, diameter would be, let's go 200, I don't know. Okay, sphere, that's a large sphere. Let's go to perspective. And we would have, see, with this, you have to actually move it and do all this stuff. I guess it's not that bad to have to do this. But let's now move it down, I guess. Okay, go to 9. See, I can't even really tell where our world is. I guess it's there. And then we're going to scale it again like this. I guess it just really doesn't matter as long as it's outside of your world. Minus Y. Let's go to, all right. Well, let's go now to our, now if we go to our camera mode, everything's black because we are inside of a sphere. But what if we take now this sphere and go to surfaces and we just bring down our opacity just to 0. Okay, well, now we go into Iray. And look what we have. We have our Iray scene. The only thing is there's an invisible piece of geometry in between our world. Is this going to work? So we'll go into here and we'll delete these objects in here. Okay. And we're at our wizard's house, where we'll go back to our wizard's house. And we wait till this renders a little bit. So the geometry is there, it's just hidden. Is it going to work? And the thing is that maybe we just have to have the sphere like be, you know, a tiny bit in the scene. Let me, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back again. So, all right, this should be enough. Cancel this, yes. We got a nice sharp lines here. We can't tell though until we go and bring these into Photoshop. So we're going to click Save. Then we're going to go to Photoshop and close all of these. No, don't save. No, 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 no. Okay. Now we're going to go back here and we're going to open our new render, open with Photoshop. And we're going to open here and go into here. There's our image, new render image. Here's our new canvas, open with Photoshop. Add as a transparency. Then go to image adjustments and go to levels, -13. Not levels. It's exposure, image adjustments, exposure, -13. Okay, then we open levels, image adjustment, and I think I'm seeing something really bad here. Art! Hello, hello, welcome, welcome. I can already see that we have this. It looks like we have a problem here. So, but we're going to go now to just our levels here, and let's fix the levels a little bit. So we go here, and then we bring this up a little bit like this to bring our black into the foreground like that. Click OK. And when we zoom in, look what we have. See, we have that problem. Okay, and I don't know why it's doing this, because there is a sphere there. Let's make sure that we did our sphere, that I'm not doing something really wrong here, like that the sphere isn't. It looks like the sphere. Let's turn the sphere back on. Okay. Yeah, and it looks like that our world is definitely inside of that sphere. Yeah, it definitely looks like it's inside there. See, so with the cutout opacity turned down, it seems it's not, it's like gone. So there's no, so the depth map is looking at this as if, okay, the sphere is, the cutoff opacity is off, so it's not here. It's not really here. And so if we go into our camera view and I look at that, I can see that sphere. Now, what if we were to just go to like 0.01? Okay. Well, I can still kind of see that a little bit, that sphere. It's there. It's messing with the sky. It's now, if we go to the perspective view, yeah, see, I can still see that. Now, if I go to 0.01, well, it's kind of, all right, invisible. Let's test this out. Like at 0.01, is that enough geometry to fool the system a little bit and make it keep the sphere there? So it says, okay, there is geometry here then. Okay, so that's what we're looking to do. So let's close this. No. I mean, so if we can get this to work, that could save you some money of buying Reshade, okay? Even though Reshade is a very cool product. And welcome, Art. Welcome. Hello. Yeah, I don't think I've ever been called Ed. Yeah, I kind of like my name, the Rex, a little better than Ed, but that's okay. Yeah, it's okay. I'll answer to Ed, I guess. All right, so, all right, okay, and Angus and Anus is here, yes. So let's now go to, let's render this. Let's go back to our camera view. Now, so we've turned our sphere on to 0.01, and now let's see if just having it there a little bit in a capital in EZ3DTV in your name the other night, I was so tired. Yes, I noticed that, but that was okay. That's all right. Yes. It's okay to be tired. It really is. I get tired. These make me very, very tired. Yes, they do. But it's nice. It's a comforting feeling that you know, to have people and be able to hang out with people here and share our love for 3D art. There's the word, art. So okay, so we're gonna render this just a little bit. Now we've deleted our files from in here. Okay, actually we gotta go up a little bit. I didn't get them all. Okay, we're gonna delete those. And then we're gonna stop this, cancel this. I guess that's enough. And so now that's 0.01. Okay, we're gonna now save this. That 0.01, it makes that sphere, okay, so the sphere, the cutout opacity is not technically 0, okay? So there is geometry there. So Daz would be forced to recognize that, I believe, as geometry. So let's see what happens. Now we go open with Photoshop, and then we go in here, and we open this one, open with Photoshop as a transparency. I can't read text. I can't stay on late today as I have company coming over this evening. Lovely. Wonderful. So I got to make some dinner. And I'll stay here today as long as I can and turn my YouTube on my phone when it charges. But I can't read texts. Okay, well that's okay. We're here, we're talking, and you should be able to listen. There now, okay, so we're gonna now go into adjustments and exposure. -13. Did this work? And you know what? I don't see that it did, okay? Because when I zoom in on this, what I see there is the same problem. Why we're having this problem? Now, let's okay, let's close this down and like go back up and delete these again. And what happens when we turn this sphere all the way up? Let's go to cutout opacity. We haven't tried this. So, oh, now I'm seeing something kind of, this made our world dark, okay, because there's nothing inside. So if we make an emission, make the sphere, and that kind of changes things a little. So let's cancel that. Let's just put a big light inside the sphere in here. Linear point light, except I got to go to town, but hi, lovelies. Hope you are having fun. Eve, it's nice of you to stop in. Oh, and leave a lovely like as you. I assume since there's 6, one of those must be yours. Thank you, and everybody else. Thank you very much for the likes. So there is a product that's on sale in the Daz store, and it's a kind of cool product. I'm going to tell you, when I first bought it, I used it a lot, and then I kind of fell out and stopped using it and haven't used it for like a couple of years. But now that I realize that I have this depth map problem, okay, I all of a sudden it's drawn new interest. Okay, now, so I have to make this light like a lot brighter. This kind of looks cool with this area light here. But we're going to make this a lot brighter, okay, so it will light the whole... Well, that is like way too bright. Okay, let's take it down one. So I don't know how long... I say that I'm not going to be here long, and then I end up being here 5 hours, so... It's hard to say. Okay, now what's really weird is that I'm wondering if this sphere, because I can actually see the reflection of the tree on the sphere. What if we make and scale this sphere up a little bit more, like to 1,000? Okay, there. Now we've got to bring this light up and bring it up more. And then give it some more, so it lights kind of out a little more. Okay, let's leave it at that. Now let's render this. Let's go into the wizard house. And wait until that renders really quickly. We got a lot of fireflies in this. Just because there's kind of an odd darkness because of this sphere being outside around everything. But is this going to give us a sharp distinction between... Is it going to see the sphere? I'm quite sure it will. It will see the sphere as geometry. Okay, so because it is geometry, it's like, hello, this is geometry. So this is very interesting because the reshade object with the light out, with no color in it, so it's like transparent, it's still considered an object, but this isn't. With its cutout down to like 1. All right, so let's cancel this now. This is enough, I guess. And then let's go and save this in our file. Save. This is the wizard house. It's actually not with reshade, but Okay, let's go here and open this with Photoshop. Go up here, open this with Photoshop. Photoshop, Photoshop. Will they both open? Yes, they do. Okay, so now we go here to Image Adjustments, Exposure, -13, and what do we have? Okay, it looks like this worked, even though it's not really that optimal, but when we zoom in, okay, Daz sees that sphere with its cutout all the way. Yes, because this is just gorgeously sharp now. So now the same thing I would assume would go for, we take the sphere out. Now if we put a plane in here, a plane. Okay, and then we go to here. Can we turn on a light? Yes, we can. And we take our plane and we rotate the plane like this at 90. And then we scale the plane like that. And then we move the plane back, 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 back. Okay, why am I off to the side? That's okay. We'll go this way then. Way back there. Then we scale the plane some more. And then we scale the plane X. See, what I'm trying to do here, Z, is put a piece, just a thin film of geometry between our HDRI so we can leave the HDRI and still get it to Daz to create a transparency, a depth canvas that doesn't have all those anomalies around it. So this should be enough. We go into Iray here now. Just see what this looks like. We should have like a white screen in the back. I think the plane will come out white because it's not in a circle. Okay, we have our trees reflecting off of the plane, but let's push the plane back a little bit more to parameters, plane, and we'll go X, so we don't have our trees. The trees can't reflect on it because it's so far away. Okay, let's go to, we'll put a 9 there, and then we'll scale this up. So it's a very large plane. So far, resize seems to be our, okay, let's put 9 here. Okay, let's go to with an 8, 6. How about 2? Okay, or a 1. We'll go with the 5. Okay, that works. Now I can see what I'm doing. Okay, 6. Okay, let's go with 8. And we'll just move the plane up. Move it on up and over. Oh, we got to make it a little wider. And we're going to do that with Z. No, that's move, not. Okay, we'll bring it back this way. And what would Z would be this. Okay. So now our plane is there. We don't have a reflection of our tree. And we're going to leave the plane full right now, and we'll see how that works. Of course, this is going to work. It's geometry. So it's a piece of geometry So when we create our depth field, remember now here in our render settings, we have our beauty and depth canvas, okay? That's why it's creating those canvases. So now we go to back to our parameters and go to our render settings. Okay, we just click render. It's going to render this scene, plus it's going to create our depth map. And so, yes, people, this Reshade is on sale today. We're going to go back into Reshade and mess with it again in a little bit. But this is on sale. It's 65% off. Usually my like definite buy things, unless it's something I'm just not interested in owning, but is at 80%. But 65 is pretty nice, especially if you got a few tokens there. You could probably push it up, bump it up to almost 80 and get it for $2 or $3, okay? And we'll go back into what this is in a bit, but okay. This looks like it's rendered enough, so we'll cancel this. Yes. All right, and just make sure we don't have anything in our, in our folder, that we've deleted all that. Now also in Photoshop, let's close these. Don't save that. Don't save this. All right, and now we're going to go back here and save this, and now it's going to save our render and also create our depth map. Okay, open with Photoshop. Go in here, okay, and now we'll go back into here, open this, and open our depth map, okay, and okay here, and now we go image adjustments, and I know what's going to happen. This is going to have a beautiful line there between, because there's geometry there. So we're going to go to exposure and we'll go to -13. And yeah, it's just exactly what I thought. As you can see now, the line here is beautiful around all the trees. These lines are there's a little bit of something there, but it's so very faint. This is not something you would notice at all. It's because we're only rendering at render setting, I think 2000. 38 4K. This is not something you would notice in a render, okay, at all. There's just a tiny bit of like fuzziness there. That's not something that. Look how sharp all that is. So this is an absolutely perfect depth map. Okay, we're zooming in 285 on a 4K image, so it's not something you're going to notice, okay? So, and look how this looks when we zoom out. 100 at 100%, a little bit less. This is a beautiful, beautiful depth map. Okay, so and again, we would go into our image adjustments, levels. And we would drag this over so that it starts at the black, where the black begins. We drag this over so it could theoretically stay there, and then we bring this up to bring this so that we have a little bit of black in the foreground, so that the black is in the foreground, but the white is in the far. So we have pure white up here and pure black down here. You can decide how much you really want to go with this. All right, so that's how you adjust the map. So that, all right, it doesn't hurt to kind of have this repetition and repetition of this, so that it sticks, so that you learn the language. This is like learning the language. This is why I do 5-hour and 6-hour tutorials. So that you just feel like, I think I can do that. And then when you go to do it, you've seen it done so much in repetition and repetition that it sticks with you, it stays with you, and it becomes part of your skill set. And this is why I do this. This is why I'm kind of talk, because it eventually sinks in and people start to learn these things. Okay, so here we go. So we now what we're going to do with this plane is we're going to go to surfaces, And we're going to bring the plane down to, let's go to 0.1, cutout opacity. Now when I bring that down to 0.1, that is awesome. Yes, and you know what, CDJ, Ultra Scatter is like, you know, if you go up into my favorites and you go most used, look what's at the top of the list. It's just, when I want to put my hands on Ultra Scatter, I want it right there, right there. And UltraScenery, that was UltraScenery. But I believe also Ultra Scatter is right here, also right in my favorites. And UltraScenery are right there. Ultra Scatter. Ultra Scatter is. Oh, you meant UltraScenery. Okay, I thought that was what you meant, and I just replaced it in my brain with UltraScenery. But Ultra Scatter is also very, 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 very awesome, and. That's okay. That's okay. I have certain names or certain things. I will call a person by the wrong name for a very, very, very long time until you know, it takes me sometimes years to get over once a name gets mixed in my head. And people will usually say, "Oh, I don't mind. I don't mind it if you call me Tracy instead of, you know, what was that other name? What was her real name?" So instead of Terry, you know, it's just something. So it's just terrible. Once my brain gets something mixed, it's like impossible for me to unmix it. So now we have set this plane down till it's almost gone, okay? So it's to 0.1. Now if I turn it to 1, you can actually kind of see it. That's actually all the way up. So 0.1 would be like 10% of it. And you see, I don't like the idea of a little thin plane taking and cutting out, because if we bring that down to 0, I can see that's more, the sky pops more. And remember, we have a gigantic light in the scene. We don't need this light anymore here. Okay, so at 0.1, that's not an acceptable, because it's just something that's taking the pop out of my sky, and I don't really like that even at 1. But let's try it at 0.1. Let's render this now, and I'll go in and delete my files here. I think I already deleted them out of Photoshop. Maybe I didn't. Yes, I did. Okay, so we're going to go in here, and this is does the depth does the depth map canvas maker for depth recognize 0.1 when a plane set to 0.1 as geometry? Okay, that's the question. Okay, this looks like it's rendered enough, so we'll cancel this. Yes. Okay, save. A large target file. Okay, would you like to place it? No. Okay, I've done something wrong here. Okay, I always do this. Okay, we have to delete the top, go up a level. Okay, and now we can save it. Save. Okay, now we right click this, open with Photoshop, and we're going to see that anomaly here. We're going to see that it doesn't recognize a plane that's almost turned off. And you see, like I said, almost turned off isn't acceptable for me. I'd like to be able to crank that down to that cutout opacity down to 0. I would think the plane, it's still there, it's just see-through, but it doesn't. Then the depth thing looks at that and says, even at 0.1, it says it's not there. Okay, so we're going to go to levels, no, to exposure, -13 is our hot number. And now when we zoom in, see, this is at 1. This is what, with that geometry still kind of there. And it's still, the depth map creator looks and says, you can't fool me. It's not really there. And so it's filled all these edge with these speckles. And especially our tree is just loaded with speckles. They're going to show right through and it's going to look just ratty, okay? So this is not going to work, okay? So this is why you want to buy this HDRI Reshade. Now let's do this. Let's go back up one and let's use Reshade again. And look how easy it is. I didn't, like with this plane, remember I had to put the plane in, I had to zoom it way back, stretch it way out, place it in the scene, you know, in front of my camera so that it filled the whole camera scene. I had to do all kinds of stuff with it, okay? And with this Reshade, all I have to do is click on this like this. It's in the scene now, okay? Render the scene, okay? And it put this gigantic sphere in the scene. My scene didn't look like it changed one bit. It didn't take the pop out of my sky. Okay? And we'll let this render enough so some of these fireflies disappear. Okay? Not too much, but we'll just let it render enough. So maybe we'll go up to 300 of these. And okay, that's enough. We'll cancel this. And it wouldn't have mattered if I even had done it at 100, okay? So make sure that I've deleted my files here. Okay, in the wizard house. Okay, we can save this now. Save the wizard house. Okay, and we click that. Then we go to Photoshop. We close these down. No, somebody with a bumpy truck outside. All right, going by. Here we go now. We go open with Photoshop. And one more. I don't know why I open both when we only need the depth map. It's just habit. Okay, so we open the depth map. And yes, as transparency. Then we go to edit. Image, adjustments, exposure, -13. Yes, and let's see what we have here. And we zoom in, and look what we have. We have beautiful, well, I zoomed way in, but no speckles, okay? The speckles are, there's a tiny bit, a little bit, but I'm zoomed way in. Look at that. See, this is perfect. So this Reshade is the way to go with this. It's a one click and you have geometry. Now I want to see how big this Reshade is. So I would suggest purchasing this today, okay? If you ever want to do any kind, and what's nice about Reshade is it's not just an invisible piece of geometry that fools the depth. And why does it fool this? I don't know. Maybe because it has a couple of objects that are here, these bones and all of this stuff. It's not a plane. It's a different critter. I mean, it's not just a sphere. It's got other stuff, okay, that's part of it. And what you can do is you can also got these cool things where you can use it to shade and say, well, I want this a little bit lighter, or you can put light, have it put out light. It's a sphere around your scene that you can use to shade your scene, okay? And it's not working now. It's not changing. Maybe because I have to use these here, these materials, yeah. and some of these, so it's a way. And then you can come in and just tweak it and say, all right, well, I like this color here, but I'd like it to be a little more green. And you just come in, you see? And so it's a way of shading your scene. And like I said, that's not the thing that's really so great about this, because you can just go into your environment options, parameters, and we could turn off reshade. Okay, come back. We could turn off reshade, and we could achieve the same exact thing by just coming in here and adding that to your environment. So it's not a big thing, and so that's why I've kind of stopped using reshade for the last couple of years, because it was just like, if I want to shade my environment, I'll just come in here and tint the HDRI, and it will just reshade it that way, and it works just as good. So it's not like a big deal, but that the fact that this fools your, so we turn this back to white, that this can fool, that we can go into reshade, and we go to surfaces, we can go to the emission color and turn that off, so there's no emission color, and then we can go to this reshade and turn it to white, okay? And so there's no emission. The cutout opacity is at 100, at 1, it's at 100% or 1, okay? So there's no cutout opacity applied to it at all, but it's still completely invisible, and that I can come in here with it set like that, and I can render this and fool the, we'll render this again, and I can fool the depth canvas maker into thinking there's geometry there, okay? Because there has to be geometry there, or it will create those really weird anomalies around all of our, it won't create it in here around this geometry, because there's geometry behind everything. There's this rock behind there, there's this rock behind there, there's behind this right here is that rock. But then up here, when you get to here, this rock, there's no geometry. There's just a projection. There's the HDRI projection. So there's no geometry behind this, there's no geometry behind this, just the HDRI projection. And that's what causes that. And so Reshade puts this invisible geometry there, so you can use your HDRIs. You can use them in your scene. Now, how did I learn this? I thought about it. I thought, I wonder if Reshade will work, And I put this together in my head. There's no video on YouTube right now showing you how to get your depth map to work, okay? And it actually, I didn't just think of it and then say, oh, Reshade will work. No, it took me several days for this to incubate in my mind, because I was thinking, okay, well, I can just put a plane behind there, and that works. Well, thank you, Art. That's very nice of you to come in and type with us. Thank you. That's very nice. So yes, I thought this up, and I put this because I wanted to be able to use these depth maps, these 32-bit depth maps with my HDRIs. If I just choose and say, that HDRI looks so beautiful there, but there's no geometry there, what do I do? Thank you, Anus. Thank you. So my suggestion is, don't buy Reshade because you can shade your scene, okay? Don't buy it for that. Buy it because it's an invisible piece of geometry that you can just click once and it will fool your canvases into thinking there's geometry when there isn't any. And so then your HDRI sky you can just make your scene the way you want it. And if you have an HDRI scene in you double click, open that reshade, and you end up getting this. Okay, so we can stop this now. Okay, it's already stopped. We'll save this. Now this is with our reshade in the scene. I don't know if I did something different here, but we'll just open up the depth canvas. Open. Updated, I guess, as a transparency. Okay, and we go to image adjustments. I'm not sure exactly what I changed. I think minus 13. Okay, and this is what we've got. We've got a beautiful sharpness here. Oh, I turned off exposure. I made sure that there was no emission, and I made sure that the color was set to 0, to white, so that but it still said that the cutout was at 100% or 1, and this is what we get. We get a beautiful sharp. And that's this. It's not perfectly sharp, but neither are any of these lines here. They all have. So, but this is, and if you want it sharper, just render your image at like 8,000. Then these lines will be even sharper. Okay, so. That is that. Now, I have one more test that I want to do. I want to see how big this reshade is, okay, in relation to, say, UltraScenery. So let's take out this, because this is a kind of a small scene. It's not that small. Let's take off the camera. Let's go to the camera. I have it locked. Unlock it. Well, I don't have to unlock it. I guess we can just go to the perspective view and select this scene. Where is it? Right here, the Wizard Island. And okay, we're going to select this. Now, as you can see, this Wizard Island, where is our... Okay, I'm going to grab that and pull it up a little bit. I think it's hiding our... Okay. Or maybe I have it turned off. Okay, where is our plane? Show floor, it's there, but it's hidden somehow. Oh, let's go to, I think it hides in the, okay. Let's go to this floor, where's, okay. So this Wizard Island is fairly large compared to our floor that we have that comes in Daz. It's a fairly large size, but we're going to delete this. Now let's put in, we have a camera in the scene. I'm not going to put anything in the scene, in the UltraScenery, but let's see, because here we have our reshade, and it looks like, oh, well, it selected something. But in order to see this, we have to go and zoom way out. And now that little teeny tiny square, you can barely see it. That's our Daz floor. And this is like very, very large. And this reshade sphere is very large. But is it larger than, say, Terradome, which I'm not sure if you all know what Terradome is, but Terradome, we'll go into, maybe we'll work with Terradome a little bit today just to see how big Terradome is, if it fits inside this gigantic sphere. If not, we can just make it bigger, but I'm just curious as to if this sphere is like an all-encompassing thing for... I know I've put geometry in here before that went larger than this sphere, but let's try it out. Okay, so first things would be our UltraScenery. Let's put just put a plane in. We're going to turn off all the other stuff. Okay, it doesn't matter if it has altitude. The features, we'll just go with the plain. Ecology, we'll pick the grasslands. And then we're going to turn everything off except our plane. Okay, and build the scene. And I'm quite sure this will fit comfortably inside of Reshade. Okay, so we're done. Close this. And yeah, I can't even see. It's okay. So now let's here's our Reshade. Okay, and UltraScene is way inside there. Okay, so let's go here. And yeah, so we're way. Oh yeah, and see, it's only a tiny bit larger than our floor. Okay, so but now let's insert. Go to Windows, Panes. Let's also now insert our UltraScene XT. See how, because this is much larger than UltraScene. Where is UltraScene XT? Add. Okay, we'll go there. And then we're going to have to play. All right, it's putting something in. Okay, see how much larger this is. Okay, so now we should be able to select this. And there's our UltraScene XT. But how big is our Reshade? Okay, so this is good news, folks, that our Reshade comfortably places UltraScene XT within itself without any overlap, without this going outside of our sphere. Okay, so we can use this shader, you know, if you wanted to use it, but the thing is that it goes outside of the land, so that if we need our depth map, okay, it's not going to go beyond what our geometry is. Okay, so that's number one. Now we got one more to test. We'll get rid of UltraScene, and that is our. It's called Terradome. Terradome. See, because Terradome puts another huge... Now, that doesn't mean that there won't be some scenes that you'll load in that might be too large for this Reshade. If so, then you have to click on this and maybe expand it out a little bit more, okay? So we're going to go Terradome 3 and props. And we're going to put an A zone in and a B zone, which is the big zone. Okay, and this looks like it's working. Okay, yeah, see, this is easily fits inside of this. Okay, so this Reshade is your answer for... It is the answer for the depth map problem in Daz. The depth map canvas problem. It puts an invisible geometry around your scene, which fools it, the depth map maker, and it's invisible, so you can see right through it, and your HDRI can shine right in through it without any kind of a distortion or filtering, okay? Because we have this Reshade set just to its default state. Now we go into this B zone here, and this is a really cool program. This allows us, just in case you've never seen Terradome before, we go to parameters, and look what I can do with Terradome. I can create canyons. Okay, and I can create, I need my special Alt key that I believe it was Anus taught me about. All right, control, dunes. Look, we have dunes. And see what this is this area here, okay? We can use this area and create like localized stuff, okay? And then we use this area to create the far off distant stuff. You see? And it comes with very high quality. We got mountains. See how nice this is? And it comes with very high quality textures. Rocky hills. And it comes with some really bizarre, like almost every kind of mountain and shape that you can think of. So we have a bunch of them for the A zone here. Look how many. Just look at all the land. Well, I bought all the plugins and everything. We've got chasm. Okay. We can it's like either a rill or a valley. Okay, and then we have, okay, we got to go here. We have cracked, gouged, Westworld. Look at this. This is just so cool here. And you put your figure way, way, way in the middle of all this. And so let's do something with this. This Westworld has got me massively intrigued. There's just so many different, and then the twisting fjord. Let's see what this does. Okay, well, we would want that to... Now, there is a way. You see how this got a hole here? Well, I don't know how well this will work because... you think, well, just use mesh grabber and push it down. But I don't think mesh grabber goes big enough to do this. So we go to, let's see, tool settings. Mesh grabber, grab onto that. See how tiny it is? And we go up for the fall off radius. And it's just barely big enough to do anything with. That's at its largest size. But we could still kind of try to push it down. If we go gain is at 100%. So yeah, we'd have to come in here and really mess with this to sometimes. But what you could do is, okay, so you just have to kind of mess with this and push it down as best you can. Kind of sucks. That mesh grabber doesn't go any bigger than it does. Z. Okay, let's redo that. Redo. So how do you fix this here? You could bring it into Hexagon. Okay, and see, I don't know Hexagon well enough. Okay, this would be our B zone. Let's go edit. Can we bring this into Hexagon, or is Hexagon gonna freak right out and say that's too big? Send to Hexagon. We've got to bring this. Okay, all right. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Now we go in here. And we go over here. Look at how fine this. We can obviously see where we need to do this. And we go to UV paint. This. Okay. Select the B zone. Okay. And then we go to, this would be our push button. Push, inflate or deflate. And then we go up to, say, 10. How about if we go to 100? Well, that worked. Let's go to 50. Now this may be trying to push too many things at once. Now I think if we hold control, one of them, okay, pushes, the other pulls. I think that's too big. Let's go 30. And we'll go size is 30, strength. Okay, I can't really tell what I'm doing here. That's weird what that just did to that. It kind of put all these strange. Disruptions. Okay. It's not working. Okay, let's go to 25. Enter. 25, enter. See, I believe what's happened here is like that. Is that there are too many vertexes and okay, this is pulling it up. Maybe it's the shift. Okay, shift pushes it down. Okay. So let's see if we can do this. The thing is, there are just too many, and Hexagon is not isn't optimized, okay, to handle this much geometry, to use your computer in a very so I can smoothen this back out again, soften it and smoothen it, but this is just not going to work. Okay, so we go to, let's say, go to 20. Okay, we can smoothen this out, all right, a little bit, but it's just not the way, I guess, to do it. So we would have to fix this in Blender, and it is smoothing it out, kind of, but it's just, it's so draggy, kind of. And it didn't really push this down like I kind of wanted. I don't think it did. No, it's still, and we still have a bunch of, it just kind of destroyed the whole surface of this. So we cancel out of this. Would you like to send the changes to Daz? No, and we don't want to save it. Okay, so, and once you bring it into Blender, it loses its link to things. So, you know, this is the frustration of Daz Studio, is that we don't have modeling tools within Daz, and it's just, they're horrible. The modeling capabilities of Daz is horrible. Now, what I could do, okay, maybe, possibly, is take this A zone and rotate it. We go to parameters, Y, rotate. And what if we kind of push this up here like this, and then bring our A zone up a little bit, Y, translate. Okay. And then we could take this B zone and just kind of Z translate it, pull it in a little bit like that. So that when we're in the middle of our, and see, now that brings us up. So what we would want to do is put the A zone and B zone together and group them to land. Okay, and then we can move them back down again. So like this, so that our figure isn't way up in the sky. Okay. And I think that kind of works. And this gives us maybe, okay, so now when we go to our materials, we can go with the A zone and say, let's go with A zone is here. Maybe with this color for the land. Now I don't know that may be actually a color for some of these are for the A zone. Okay, it looks like very repeating, but I think, okay, shaders. Atmosphere, terrain shader base. Welcome, Ed. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, we are working with Terradome here, and Terradome is, as you can see, a very, very cool product, materials. So let's go with this A zone, see what this does. This Badlands, what's kind of confusing here. Okay, surfaces, A zone. I think that did just switch this. Welcome, Ed. It's very nice. Thank you for coming in and saying hello to us. Very, very nice to have you here. Okay, see, now that actually looks, now what you can do here with these materials, you go into surfaces and you find that you have a lot of properties. Tile mix scale, you see, so technically because this is I believe these are algorithmic to some degree. Yes, they do have maps and all, but these are algorithmic. So when we go back into here and we go render settings, okay, not here, cameras, okay, materials, and you go into some of these settings and it says I don't know what but there are some settings in here that allow you to maximize your, and I don't see it here. Let's go into here, all. And of course you have water as well, and Terradome's water is, okay, look at this, these sub D, okay, this is so that you can smoothen your mountains, and so you don't end up with any jaggeds. Of course you can set that in the parameters anyway, but let's try this higher, this, yeah, see, that just did something with our texture. You notice now when we go into default or lower, okay, and we go to sub D2, and now let's put a texture on our B zone, and this one you can tell this would be a B zone because they look like mountains, where this kind of looks like a flat area. And so I would assume these would be our B zone. And then we go back in. Now the environment intensity. What are these? Okay, these have, I think, the sky. Those have to do with maybe the non-HDRI sky. But let's now go into this higher, this. Now you see what that did? It just took that texture, which looked like it was, and it just made it. It turned this on. Okay, so Now let's put a figure in our scene. So they're at this middle area. Let's take this B zone again and just bring in a few, make it some higher mountains and see what happens if we go in here, like, and try to bring in some more higher mountains like this. Now. Okay, and now let's put a figure in our scene, Genesis 9. This is, I think, the first time I've put a Genesis 9 figure in Terradome. And let's see what we have here. Let's bring, no. Let's put Jesus in. Jesus into the desert. Okay. Awesome, awesome. Thank you for the likes, people. Thank you very much. So, it looks like we have one viewer. I don't know why it's saying that there's one viewer, but maybe it's lying. It does lie to me. It's saying that we have 3 now, or 2. Okay. Everybody's busy today. That's okay. That is fine. I will make this video so that you can watch it in your leisurely time. I'm only showing gone. I'm not sure what that means, Angus. Now we have 2 people showing. Very good. So, showing 1, yeah. That's what I was showing. It was showing 1. Yeah. And then it, and okay, so we have John now in our scene. Let's see where John is standing. Okay, this is pretty cool. Okay, so we can take our land and move it up so John is actually standing on the ground. Up. Okay, it's like this mirror kind of thing where you're looking in the mirror trying to comb your hair. All right, let's go here. Okay, Terradome. Let's see what this looks like in Iray now. I don't think I put sub D on the B zone, and that would be a good thing to do. Now we do have some kind of weird and we could take our camera. I think my camera has a very large, okay, let's go to our reset value on our camera. Oh, we're not looking through our camera. That might help. Okay, let's click John and go through, look through our camera. Oh, okay. I might have my camera locked. Favorites. Okay. Camera. No, I don't think it is. Camera, John. Why aren't you zooming in on John? Favorites. Okay, it's not, it is locked. That's why. Favorites. Oh, where are most used? Most used. Okay, so now we can select John and zoom in on him. Okay, this is looking, okay, see, this is starting to look, okay, now we can kind of mess with our textures a little better. Terradome. Dome. Here we go to Terradome. Here it is. Materials. Let's try this one. Okay, that's kind of cool. Now some of these, like these ones I think are for the B zone. These are A zone. When they have a mountain, they're for a B zone. And in order to get all of these red rock, to get all these different, you have to buy the plugins for this. And then it gives you, every one of them gives you a few more colors and things like that. Okay, and the tiling. This is the tiling right here. This is the big one here. This is default, and then finer tiling. And when you go larger tiling. And this is the largest. Okay, I think the largest tiling is probably the nicest one. And then we take our environment options, parameters. Let's move the sun so it's actually shining at him. Parameters. What have we got here? Let's go to environment intensity. We'll go down to okay, control alternate. There we go. And that's correct. Now we move our dome around a little bit. There it is. Those trees just don't work because they break the whole perspective kind of thing. All right, so we go to a different environment map. All right, let's try. Oh, I don't know if I just clicked on the right thing. Yeah, I did. That's an EXR. Okay, that's not doing anything for me. I don't think. So we got. Try this. Okay. This looks like a Star Trek. Something from Star Trek. And we go to dome rotation. Can we get some sun? Look how that kind of... See that this is what's cool about this. It's not one piece of land. You have this faraway land, and then you have this close-up land, and it can create some really nice effects. And let's find another. Let's find a map that really does something for our scene. This particular Terradome, I have very fond memories of using Terradome. Do not buy Terradome 2. Do not buy Terradome 1. Only if you're going to buy anything Terradome, only buy Terradome 3 stuff. Do not let them fool you. Okay, I have a spam call. Just a minute. Hello. 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 This is Eric. What's this about?
Are you a bot?
Excuse me? Hello? I think he just asked me if I was a bot. It's like, no, I don't think so. Not today. I'm not a bot. So, yeah, that's the first time anyone's ever asked me. It's like, that's a way to cool off a date. Are you a bot? Oh. Yes, what is our... Okay, this... I selected the wrong thing, the JPEG. I'm not sure that this is working either, so let's... It's like, what would a bot say? Yes, I am a bot. Funny. Try this. Okay. These are not working. Let's go to 13. Let's go to 25. Okay, let's move this around a little bit to see if we can find the sun. Now, I just realized, okay, I have Reshade in here. See, that didn't change very much when I took Reshade out. So again, I'm very pleased with the way Reshade kind of works. But this isn't providing the right kind of color that I want on the scene. Go to environments again. It's just really blue, very, very blue, blue, blue world. Heart and soul took control of me. Paid my dues, spread the news, hands across the sea. Okay, here we go. This kind of looks interesting. Click the EXR file. Let's try this. This is going to give us some. This is probably going to be very bright. Well, it's not too bad. It's actually enough. It is very bright. Let's go down to 13. That's still too bright. Let's go to 10. That's still too bright. Let's go to 2. Okay. Rent-a-bot. Yes. Well, I am trying very hard not to let my imagination kind of make too many jokes about this, because it could turn unsavory very easily. So, yeah. So the whole bot thing is... Okay. Now, what's nice about this B zone is I can go Y translate, Y scale, and I could just bring this down a little bit, tame it. So we can bring this up a little more like this. And see what we have. hands across the sea, and it's only what you say. Excuse me, that can give yourself away. And it's only what you do that keeps it coming back on you. It's a blue world. It takes somebody to love. All right, so here we go. Somebody, oh, it's a blue world. I wonder if anybody knows who sings that song. It's a blue world. Okay, because I bet that Art or a Noose probably knows who sings that song. Who sings that song? Okay, so we're going to go back to our environment options. Let's put some clothes on Jesus. Okay. Let's put a robe on Jesus. Not a bathrobe. What have we got for robes? That's a little too much robe. Something simple. It takes somebody to love somebody. King's Magister robe. Whoa, it's a blue world. Okay, we're going to put this on him, Genesis 8. I don't know if that's the right kind of robe either. Okay. So I don't know that this is working. Okay, we'll take, let's do something sci-fi instead, okay? So we'll take the robe off and we'll put some kind, we'll turn him into a sci-fi. So we gotta find some clothing, sci-fi clothes. Wardrobe, male, John 9. Here we go. Wardrobe. This is Genesis 1. Okay. How did that not work at all? Okay, I thought we had this guy selected. Compatibility base. Yes, merge. It's going to do the same thing. I know it is. Okay, so that didn't work. All right, so let's find some other kind of sci-fi something. Okay, we're in wardrobe. Okay, categories, wardrobe. Okay. Sci-fi. Or we could do Amish. No, okay, I don't know. All right. It takes somebody to love somebody. Oh, it's a blue world. This is another Genesis. Why am I getting Genesis 1 stuff? Yes, merge. And this compatibility base missing again. Why is this happening? All right, we need to go to just all with no filter and stop messing with my head. Okay, we need to just go here. Find some kind of cyborg something cyborg. These capes and robes are cool. It's a blue world. We could give him pride boots. Now I know I have a ton of, and I think that might be the problem is with some of my, okay, here. Now this is an entire suit. Now we tried that one. Okay, this one is an entire suit. You have to put the whole thing on. Let's go into Show Asset in Content Library. That didn't work. Okay, let's just try putting these on him. Yes, merge. Legs, okay, the pants. Yes, merge. Why did the pants, okay. Cancel this. Okay, we don't want the pants because these are 9, so there's 9 and 8 stuff. Okay, now that didn't work because I have him. Okay, the pants have got to go. Okay, enter, delete. We got to select John again. Okay, 9. And then this. Is that 8? Okay, that's for 9. 8. This is for 9. Again. Where's the belt? Okay, here's the whole suit. That's for 8. Okay, what's this work? This just isn't working in content. Okay, in the content library, it did show this here, but now let's go to, okay, there's the belt for 8, so that doesn't work. Okay, so where show asset in smart content files. There we go. Products. Show asset. Okay. Guardian outfit. For 8-1 males. Cyber Guardian. Okay, this isn't, this is for 8-1. Okay, here's the Cyber Guardian 8-1 bundle. Okay. This is strange. Okay, so we just get rid of these parts and put the whole suit on him. Okay, Jesus, we're gonna get you some clothes. Genesis 8, accept. See, I don't remember doing this. Somewhere I bet I have this same thing for Genesis 9. But Genesis 8 will work, I guess. Okay, so we're going to do auto fit. Genesis 8, accept. Okay, we have boots with this one, so this is actually better. Now we have the Guardian belt. Okay, that just made it worse. Okay, so we'll go with the boots. Accept. So the pants are on. And the Guardian arms. How about gloves? Does this Guardian have gloves? It's a blue world. Genesis 8. That's the Guardian top. Now his boots are going into the ground. The Guardian top. And there we have it. She looks a lot like Michael here. Okay, and hair. Do you have hair? Can we find you some hair? Short. Hair. And then we go with poses. And let's take down some of his features. His face looks a little, doesn't quite fit. So we'll take down his features a little bit. Okay. Hair. Okay, so we don't have any beard with this, so we got to find a beard, some kind of stubble for his face. Face. Go with that. And let's get a pose so he does. Oh my gosh, he just looks so mechanical. He's a bot. All right, let's see now. Let's go to here and down to here. And 9 poses, and here we are with our poses. Let's go in a few. I had somebody ask me today why I don't use a lot of expressions in my figures. And part of the reason is because I'm not a big fan of Daz teeth, okay, even in the Genesis 9, and it's not, probably not because of they're bad, it's just because I've never really spent a lot of time working with them to make them look right. So it's that's probably my fault. And so, yeah, Daz teeth are, so I've just had a lot of trouble making them look right. And then, you know, that sometimes my figures end up with expressions because they come with the poses. And the expressions are very subtle. Let's go here and see what this looks like. Okay. Jesus, I think you came back to the wrong planet. All right, so now we got to go, and now we go here. Let's look here in this. Let's go to space. See what we can find for props and things. Okay, we've landed here in Alpha Centauri. And our ship is refueling. We found dilithium crystals, a rich deposit of dilithium crystals. And the temperature is arid, but breathable. I mean, the climate. Okay. Okay. Save this as, we'll call this away mission. Okay, so now I think it looks like he's standing on the ground, but is he? Is he really? That's the question. It looks like he is, but when you get looking around, you find out maybe not. And so we're going to save this. We have 7 likes. Wow, we're up to 7 likes. My gosh. Thank you, thank you, thank you, people. 7 likes. And okay, what am I thinking? Okay, so we're going to lock our camera again. Favorites, most used, lock. Make sure the camera is indeed locked. Okay, and then we go and use our perspective view. And let's take a look at his feet. See one of his feet. Okay. Okay, what if we take this right here and we just yank on this foot? Pull it up. What's wrong, guy? Why won't you move? Okay. That pulled it up. Why am I doing this in Iray? Well, because I can barely see it in. Okay, and then we can bend this foot ahead a little bit. I think that might work. Another alternative would be to take our ground plane, go to Tool Settings, here. And kind of move the earth around Z. See, these rotation tools, there's just no, they're so sensitive that they're useless, okay? Rotation tools here in Mesh Grabber are horrible. And there's no nudge. Okay, but that worked right there, so kind of, sort of, maybe. Okay. I think that's enough. Now go back to our camera view. Save this. Go out of this view. Now let's try finding a VDB. I'm thinking about having like this ship has like a big exhaust with all kinds of billowy smoke coming out of the back. So let's try that. I don't know why I'm all croupy today, but it happens to the best of us. VDB. Let's try mysterious wisps. Say that 10 times. Z. Well, I have to cough again. Okay, here we go. Let's try again. Parameters Z. Z for translate. And then we go back enough, and then we go scale. And X translate goes over this way. Let's try this. See what this looks like. Mysterious wisps. Okay, we gotta go into... His hair is gone because we push this back a little more. Okay, like that. And a little bit ahead, a little more. Well, let's just take a look and see where the back of our ship is. That's way off. We want it coming out of the back of the ship. And then we can scale it down a little bit. Okay. What are we doing here? That kind of looks realistic. Now we go back to the camera view, and what we do is we take this, we just bring down some of the 25, 10. Y scale. That's not working. Plume. Let's just try a plume. I can never figure out which way to move this, to move it. So far this isn't working, but Maybe we can get it to work. Now you're going to move his leg all over where I don't want it. Okay, so what I'm not liking about this scene is the lighting. Let's take this plume and make it a little bit less. Okay, I think that works. So let's mess with our sky now again. Environment. Parameters. There we go. Save this. And now we just got to light our scene up a little bit. With a ghost light. Ghost light. One of these. Okay, we'll take the ceiling light. rotate it. Like this. Move it up a little bit. Let's look at it from the side, perspective. Okay, let's try this again. Scale this. Okay. And scale it some more. Bring it out a little more. Bring it down, I guess. I'll go back to our camera. Go back to Iray. Go back to Iray. All right, here we go. And start. And ceiling light. Let's try this again. Ceiling light, base color. I think I'm going to want this to be slightly blue. And then we're going to give it some lumens. 9 lumens. 2. Efficacy. Emission color. Okay, the base color is going to be white. I guess that's... Yeah, right. Emission color. I keep changing the wrong thing. Okay. Now we need a regular light on him so that he's not green. We'll take this light down a little bit. All right, let's get another ghost light. Cylinder light. Okay. Perspective. See, Jesus, we got you a nice ship and everything. You have your own planet. Okay, that looks pretty good. We're just going to bring this down a little bit. Surfaces. And make it a little warmer. Okay, now the cloud field in the back. Now this is the plume in the back. Let's make that a little more visible. Visible. Let's go to our density that we turned down. Okay, here's our smoke cube. Density, let's go to 40. Oh, that's a little too much. 20. Ten. 10. 5. Okay. I think that's kind of done. Parameters. Okay. Let's do, I think the light might be a little too strong on him. So we just take it down a little bit. A little bit. This would be our half cylinder light. Surface. Go luminance. We go down to 2. No, it's got to go up a little more. 3. Yeah, I think that works. Okay, so let's render this. Now what we're going to do is use our depth map. I don't think I'm going to use the depth map because it will just turn all this white here, and which I can bring it in actually. I could bring it in and it gives us a little bit of this kind of weird depth map, and it would be kind of interesting. Let's build the depth map and see if it has any use. So So we could, now how about depth of field? Okay, we blur everything kind of in the background, in the foreground. Let's see where our depth of field is. Select our camera. Oh, I don't know that depth of field will work because my camera is locked. Unlock the camera. Okay, now we can change depth of field. So our depth of field is in the wrong place anyway. You can see it's way in front. Is it focal distance? This one here. It's got to be right about where his eyes are. Camera. That's not bad. That's not bad. Kind of like that effect. And I think this smoke in the back. Plume needs to be a little bit bigger. So it kind of, maybe it goes out of the picture. Yeah, I think that's... I think that's our image right there. Maybe we'll give this light that's on him a little bit more so he'll pop out a bit more. There's our half cylinder light. Surfaces, light. Lumens, let's go to 4. Yeah, just so he pops out a bit more. Save. Okay. Let's render. So it has been two and a half hours. I think once I render this, we're gonna, okay, so I am not going to build the canvas because I just don't really think this already has like these VDBs, this atmosphere here. I just think it would kind of conflict. So, and I don't really, there might be a little bit of where it'd be nice to have some depth information on these like kind of roly-poly rocks on the ground, but it would actually provide probably a better, but I don't know, this, it would be more uniform where this VDB is giving me like little bits and pieces where it's collected and coalesced and it's kind of like an exhaust rather than a fog. Yeah, there are very many different kinds of fog. And haze and mist and yeah, smoke. Yeah, very many kinds of vapors. You know, this smoke, like little plumes of smoke, like what would come off of a cigarette. Just a lot of different kinds of smoke. This ground looks so cool here. It's so barren that it lends itself, because that's the only thing about Terradome is it just doesn't have trees, which you can put them in if you want. So, but it doesn't have trees. It doesn't have any kind of bio layers. Okay, so let's now go to our progressive renders, go to maximum samples, maximum time, turn this off, save it again. Now, I think this light is hitting this and reflecting. I don't think that's that bad. So, oh, look how sharp that's going to come out. All right, now we're going to hit render. Render. Okay, and I think we're going to probably, this is going to be rendering in 4K, so that'll look cool. So Jesus got himself a spaceship in the meantime while he's been up there in the sky, and he's decided to come back with, you know, not use the old method of just floating up in the air, but just to actually come back in a spaceship. So, which I think that's a dramatic kind of way of coming back. I mean, what kind of expression should I put on his face? Like, you know, like the guy from The Shining, like Jack Nicholson. You know, whenever I think expressions, you know, it's like the Mona Lisa. She has, I think, a tiny smirk and a smile. You know, there's a kind of thing going on with her eye a little bit, but I mean, expressions, I just don't seem to have a lot to do with expressions. My figures, you know, I don't know. Maybe we could give him a little bit of you know, where his eye comes down a little bit like this. So, but, oh, he doesn't have eyebrows. Oh no, Jesus, what happened to your eyebrows? So we got to get him some eyebrows. I thought something looked wrong. It's just wrong, Jesus. It's wrong. You have to have eyebrows. Essentials. That's what they are. They are essential. Okay, so let's try these. Much better, Jesus. Now let's see what we have here. Let's go in and take a look at our eyebrows. If you want to make a good impression when you return, you want to have some eyebrows. Those are nice. They work. Okay. Okay, there we go. Go back to our camera. Save this. Okay. Let's give him a little bit of some kind of expression, all right? So, like just a squint. I think there's a squint one, John 9, parameters. Let's go here. Okay, squint. Let's try S-Q-U-I-N-T, see if we can find a squint. And there's going to be a right and a leg. a very fine render. Awesome, Ed. Thank you very much. Very nice. Thank you. Squint. SQUINT. There's a cheek squint. Eye squint. Okay, well, this would be the right eye. Let's see what happens when we... Okay, what happened to the right eye squint? It's like that, oh, who is that famous actress? Mummy Dearest. It's like that kind of squint. Joan Crawford squint. Okay. I think that works. So he has an expression. Officially, RexRed has used an expression. It's okay. You know, that's what it is. Somebody emailed me and they introduced themselves, and it was very nice. It was very nice to have somebody email me and talk to me about, yeah, that looks really nice. I can see that little bit of a squint there now. And they said, well, you know, just asked, you know, why don't you use expressions very often? And the reason why, because I'm not really happy with the Daz teeth, and I've not really learned how to make them look right. So I don't usually, and then a lot of my renders are romantic, and they're just not like, kind of like this kind of thing, like, where did I leave my toothbrush? You know, kind of thing. They're more like romantic, where they just kind of have this like passionate look, really, than so much. And that all that takes is like a little bit of a to close their eyes a little bit and make them look. Sometimes to close them all the way. It's just so. I was thinking of possibly doubling this smoke and spinning one so that it looked like twice as much smoke, but I kind of like the blue behind him rather than the green. So I'm going to just leave it like this. And we do have our camera. We can, before I render this, I think I'm going to just lock the camera so it's saved locked, so I don't accidentally move the camera. And we save this. And Jesus has his biosuit. So he's coming back with a biosuit. Yeah. That Clint Eastwood's good. That's funny. Yeah, it's the hunter eyes. Yep, so that he's got a squint. So I have officially used an expression. So I sometimes make my characters smile, especially if they have the kind of mouth where it looks like it's like the what's her name, Morgan Fairchild smile, like kind of. You know, so if they have like a downward smile, then I'll try to kind of bring it up a little bit, because the downward smile can sometimes, at the right angle, look angry. So I'll try to bring it up a little bit. I probably, that's why I'm here but yes, I don't use a lot of expressions. Maybe it's a reflection of my own personality where I'm very expressionless kind of person. I don't know. I'm very serious. I'm not. I'm not very big on comedy shows and things where that would bring out a lot of expression in me. I'm usually just kind of like blah and watch TV, and every once in a while I'll smile or laugh, but it's usually just kind of blah for like hours on end. Dry, very dry life. So it may be a reflection of my life. So let's give this a render. Let's do it. Do it, do it. So yes, we have now a render coming. And that may be the end of today's tutorial, people. Anus, it's very nice having you here. It is an Ed. We have an Angus here. I have to talk to Angus. And we also have had Art here in CDJ and Eve. Eve has been here as well. So let's take a look and see what our figure looks like with his squint. It doesn't look like much of a squint, but you know what? It looks better than it did before. Well, I hope so. I hope you are. Okay. Looks like we got something there. I think that's just part of our VDB. Let's hope he doesn't have VDB. Yeah, and his feet look fine here. We got it. It looks like his heel's not on the ground, but that's okay. He's kind of on his toes, tiptoes. That's what he's kind of got, like, I'm coming for you kind of look, kind of thing. He is just beautiful. So anyone who thought, oh, don't use Jesus, don't use John, look how beautiful this is. This he's a very nice figure. Daz did really, really good with him. Yes, they did. And he's got that little crook in his nose, which I think is beautiful. It's just really beautiful. A little bit of an Armenian crook. Love the Armenian people. Armenians are awesome people. They really are. He does have a pleasant expression, and he's posing for a photo. Usually when you pose, you might smile a little bit, but a lot of people like to have a dramatic photo, where they're just like this, kind of thing. Not everything is an exaggerated kind of photo. So I don't know. His hands look a little tense here, but that's okay. Yeah, this is a cool suit for him. It definitely puts him into character. So I think it's a lot better than the robe with no clothes under it. So yeah, I think this works. It works very well. And his beard and his hair, his beard's a little bit dark, but I thought, I think I'll leave it, And usually I rarely ever leave this hair blonde because it usually in most scenes, in most lighting, doesn't look natural. But, I'll give you a little tip. If you put blonde hair on your figure and it looks really, really, for some reason, it just looks good, keep it, okay? Make their eyebrows blonde, make everything else go blonde, because blonde is one of the hardest hair colors to get to look natural in a scene. And if you can get it to look, it's just like you put it on and by default the hair is blonde or something, and it looks really good, it looks natural, use it, because it's rare when that happens. Blonde usually just doesn't, red doesn't usually look natural. And if you should try the red or the blonde hair and it looks really like it just looks really natural, use it, because it's a rare occurrence, very rare. And that's why when I saw the blonde and it looked natural, I just said, yeah, I'm going to keep it. This hair could have gone a little lighter, but I'm leaving it that way. So Jesus does dye his hair, you know. So yes, they have hair dye in Paradise. So yeah, why wouldn't they? So yeah, he's very beautiful. His eyes have so much detail in them, so much character in them. And he has dark eyes. Just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We did it. We got this. I like this part of the mountain where it looks like there's a sun or something illuminating the top of this. And so we're up to 1,700. I don't think this is going to reticulate that much more. But if I were to bring this up to like 6,000 iterations, I think I'll leave it and let this might actually become a little more pronounced. And it's the way some reflections are. Some reflections are just simply little dots like this. They're shine. It's what shine looks like on many things. So, but this should reticulate more. This needs to reticulate more. So I think we're going to go up to a few thousand. I'm really glad that I put sub D on this down here because it made this look really nice. This looks a little bit kind of digitized here, but it's okay. But I'm really glad that I put sub D on it so that it's smooth looking at least. You can put your own, you can take these and put your own textures on the on this, but from a little bit of a distance, this looks really good actually. So I wonder if a red smoke would have been better. But I think the green just kind of doesn't stick out that much. So we're going to just leave this rendering. So thank you for the compliments and the company and just being here, people. You are all so very awesome. And this is going to, I'll go back and put this back on just for a little bit so you can see one more. Unfortunately, I'm rendering it so large that it's really difficult to see, but we'll leave that on just for a little bit longer while I say good night to you all. Have a good night. It's 5 o'clock and I'm done this for the day. I kind of accomplished what I wanted to do. So it's 3 hours. I added stuff in. At some point, I'm going to learn how to use depth maps for the depth map, to use it for the camera depth of field. And but I'm not really that interested so much in the depth of field, using a depth map for depth of field. I'm more interested in using it for that depth, for that fog effect. Okay, so because I can just do depth of field with my camera right in Daz, and so but you know what, that thing is when you use the depth map for depth of field, you can really do some intense stuff with it. You can make certain areas not have the effect. You can have certain, and you can really work with the depth of field in massive ways. So it's an option for a video at some point. Okay, so today my suggestion, okay, is if you ever want to use depth maps in Daz, you're going to need this product, okay? So pick up Reshade, okay? It's a Daz original, so Daz kind of made this. They did it the right way because it's geometry. Even when it's invisible, it's geometry. This is the answer to the no geometry in the background problem with your depth map, okay? I personally don't know that I would use this to reshade a scene, but if you ever want to come in and just give your scene a little bit of a shade, a little bit of a tint, this can be a little bit CPU, like, because once you're using that as a light source, it can be a little CPU intensive. Okay, but it's really nice. This gives your scene a certain color. And so this was the original color. This is the with the H. It lights it. It's the same thing though, really, as your environment. Just go into your environment and change it. But the real use of Reshade is for this depth map effect, and you just double click on it, put it in the scene, and I'm actually going to go in there and add it to my favorites so that if I ever want to render a depth map, I can just boom, put that in. It's invisible, but it fixes that problem. Okay. So, all right, very good, people, very good. This is rendering beautifully. Let's look one more time at this. This is starting to get a little softer looking, so it's going to have the effect. We're looking at this really up close. His fingers aren't going through his feet. His feet look good, so all of this is looking good. This texture is a little bit more blown out than I like it to be, but all right, and there is a way to fix that. I think I should probably have tiled it more, okay? So I don't think the repetition would have shown up as much, just going in and tiling it down a little bit more. So, all right, very good. And the thing is I could have put my own textures here, but these are pretty nice textures for the land. So take care. This is RexRed saying so long, and I now officially have the hiccups. So, all right, I will talk with you. I've got to get over to this computer. And yes, please like, subscribe, click the bell. Yes, good night, Angus. Angus, have a lovely evening. Please subscribe, click the bell for notifications, likes, comments. Let me know what you think. If I do something wrong, it's okay for you to come in and point out things that I have done wrong. But remember, this is a live video, and if something's gonna go wrong, it's gonna go wrong in a live video. So it's just some things I'll do and I don't realize that I did it. Like I'll say, oh, I did this, and just didn't realize that that I clicked on the wrong thing, and so it's kind of something that I'm sort of aware of, but then there are things that I'm just not aware of, and that's where you're welcome to come in, and that's what a live video is about coming in. Sometimes it's very helpful to everybody else if you mark a certain part of the video and you leave it in a comment and say, I believe if you click on this, then that texture thing will work. Then that helps everybody else in the video so that they don't get the wrong information, okay? So, all right, thank you, take care. I will see you again in the next EZ3DTV tutorial. This is RexRed saying so long for now. So long. Bye, 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 bye.